Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. If you're at home, if you're in class, if you're in Rays, watching this video, you should have handout number 5 so that next to you or out so that I can introduce the Unit 3 project to you, go over the different components, the pacing, how you're going to be assessed, where the graphic organizer is, where you write all your entries. All these different things I'm going to explain in this video. Have handout number 5 ready and out. So that you can kind of follow along with the video. And you can see that I have this projected so that you can see it as well. So some of you might have done a RAFT activity before. It is a writing assignment, and that's going to be our project for Unit 3. So a RAFT is an acronym, which means it stands for something, RAFT, role, audience, format, and topic. So the directions say there that you are basically going to take on the role of someone else. You're going to be writing letters to an audience in a specific format about a given topic. And I want to go through each of those steps with you. Everything that you do ultimately will be turned in on Google Classroom. And you will also have the opportunity to use a graphic organizer to help you organize your thoughts. Okay, so the role of this activity, we're learning about the founding documents. And the most important documents are being 4 of the big ones that we talk about: the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights are the 4 big ones that we're going to talk about this year. And those are the ones that we're going to focus on for this RAFT assignment. So you are going to be pretending, your role is you're going to be pretending to be that you're an English colonist, born in England, moved to the colonies. You can pick where you want to live, any of the colonies, the original 13 colonies, probably somewhere in the East Coast. And you're going to be living through the American Revolution in that process where we were trying to become an independent nation. We went to war with Great Britain over a lot of different things, but mainly our independence. So what you're going to do is you're going to assume that role of an English colonist, probably someone on the younger side, probably not an older colonist, because your parents are still living in England and you're writing to them. All 4 letters are going to be back to your parents living in England. Maybe you have other family members that live there as well, siblings or aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever. But you're writing to your parents living back in England. The format for the 4 letters are going to, or 4 writing activities, 4 entries are going to be letters of at least 5 sentences each, where you're going to describe what's going on in your life, but also what the founding document is, what the goal of that founding document is, and why it was written, and some of the strengths and weaknesses of that document, and good things and bad things, positives and negatives. Now you'll notice here, I did write, feel free to add some discussion about the war going on in your life in the colonies. You can add a couple sentences there to make it a little bit more creative, to make it a little bit more readable and a little bit more exciting and fun. However, you have to answer the entry topic, which is written right here. So on entry 1, when you're going to write entry 1, which will start in class and you'll hopefully finish by the next class. If you don't finish classwork, you should finish it by the next class. The first, it's going to be 1776, after July 4th, because July 4th is when it was signed. Declaration of Independence has just been signed. Describe what it is and what it accomplished. So define it, what are some of the big ideas, the goals of it. Okay, and remember, this is 1776. The war is underway. This is really going to be the pushing the British to really get upset with us at that point. You can also decide at this point: are you a loyalist, loyal to the British Crown, and you're upset about this Declaration of Independence, or you can take the perspective of a rebel who is fighting against the British Crown. All right, your second entry that you write, and again, you're only going to write these entries as we're learning them. You're not going to go ahead. Right, you finish entry 1. The next day we learn about entry 2. You write, then you can write that in class and for homework. 1781, the Articles of Confederation has just been ratified, which means it was passed into law. Describe what it is, what is this document, and its many weaknesses, because it did not last. So make sure you describe its weaknesses. And again, continue your story of your character if you want. Maybe you got married, maybe you had kids, maybe something happened in the war to you or your family or your friends or something, I don't know. But you can be creative with that. Entry number 3, 1789. The Constitution has been ratified. It was started in 1787, officially ratified in 1789 by 9 of the states at that point. Describe what is the Constitution, why it was created, and you might want to throw in some goals of the preamble. What does the preamble say? What are a couple things that it says there? Entry 3 might be a little bit longer than entries 1 and 2 because it's got a little bit more detailed components. Continue your character story and so on. 1791, 2 years later, the Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution. What is it? Why was it passed? And maybe you want to in there mention how an amendment is passed and how this process is difficult and cumbersome and in order to change the Constitution. So the U.S. amendment process you want to talk about. So that's what you're going to do in your 4 entries. You're not going to start an entry until the class that we learn about that topic. So you can only go ahead a certain point. There will be times to work on this through in class and after, and I'll explain that in a minute. Here's your rubric. It's a 40-point rubric. Let me change that. It's a 40-point rubric. There are 5 different categories. I'm going to look at, are you communicating ideas with clarity? Do I know what your topic is and what you're explaining? Did you organize your ideas effectively? Are you using vocabulary from class and context? Are you demonstrating your understanding of the concepts we're learning in class, these documents? And are you able to summarize your entries into valid arguments and that make sense and explain the different components of that document? Okay? And again, the due date is posted at the bottom, as you can see. And this will be done on Google Classroom. Let's look at the back. This is what your graphic organizer look like. This is optional. You don't have to use this, but I would suggest using it. So think about, before you start, think about who you'll be, your name, your age. You're going to use your own name, but your age, your education background, your job, where you live, what do you do? Are you in the war? Are you working? Are you a male or female? Like, think about the times and what's going on at that point. You can be creative with it. All right. And if you want to take on the persona of someone else, just okay that with me. All right. Think about similarities between your life and differences between your life in the colonies versus how it was in England. In every document, you need to make sure you have a greeting, which is dear mom and dad or dear your family, a salutation, sincerely, love, something like that, and then your name at the end of each entry. And then don't forget to keep in mind when the documents were written. I'll give you a little bit more additional information in class about, the actual dates that these were ratified so that you know to include a date afterwards. Okay? And this gives you a little bit more planning ideas that you can jot down. What is the declaration? What were its causes, effects, and accomplishments? And I really did this for all of the documents. All right, now let's go to the Google Doc. So let's look at the Google Doc, which is here. And this is the blue gold. So this is the Blue Day document that you're going to see. I have a little bit of a pacing. This is what we're going to do in class. The first class is going to be Friday the 15th, Tuesday the 19th, skip a day, and then we'll go Monday the 25th, Monday the 2nd of December after Thanksgiving, and then you'll also have time on Wednesday the 4th after your unit test and Friday the 6th after we start Unit 4. And the due date will be Monday, December 9th, which is a gold day, but you'll have that due at the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. So you have that whole weekend plus Monday. And again, like I said, don't go ahead. And this is where you'll write your entries for each one. Okay, gold day, students, same thing, except a day later, Monday the 18th, Wednesday the 20th, the day before Thanksgiving break, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving break. Your test will be on Thursday the 5th, and you'll have time to work on it after the test. You'll also have some more time on the day that's due in class, that Monday the 9th. Okay, so I give you in-class work time days and then suggested due dates to keep pace. I gave you some more information, and again, it's the same structure. Okay, so always make sure that you check the rubric, reread them before you submit. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask them in class about the project, but it's a 40-point project, a lot of class time to work on it, a lot of area for creativity and your ability to use your creative writing skills. So I look forward to reading these RAFT entries afterwards. All right, thank you. Bring any questions in that class next time. See ya.